Matt Schnell joining us to talk about the big win, and he was great on the mic afterwards as well. Matt, how are you, my friend? Thank you for doing this.
Doing good. Thanks for having me. It's always an honor to come on the Ariel Helwani show.
I appreciate that. Thank you. How are you feeling, by the way, a couple of days removed from the fight?
I feel great. A little beat up, but nothing that I've not dealt with in the past. The shiner I've got, I actually gave myself after the fight. I was good. Pretty. I mean, it looked like I had a tough spar. I had obviously been in a fight. But later that night, get in the shower, and I go to blow my nose in the shower, and I blew up my eye. So he did crush my nose. My nose was crunched up, and I just didn't realize. And luckily, he didn't blow my nose in between rounds because I would have TKO'd myself.
Well, so is your nose broken right now?
Yeah, it must be. Or something's wrong with it. It's bad enough for it to make my eye blow up when I try to blow my nose.
So a fight like that is always really interesting to me because we all go crazy about it. We all love it. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. But I'm assuming like as a fighter, it's great. You're getting praise, but that's not exactly what you're hoping for, right? You're hoping for like a 30-second knockout. You can walk back with no scratches on your face. Yes?
No, absolutely. You know, if things went seamlessly, I would have submitted him in the first, and I obviously wouldn't have all this attention and people wouldn't be praising me and things like that. But ultimately, we would probably be a lot better off physically and things of that nature. So you never want to go out and get beat on like that, but we'll take a W.
Do you remember the whole fight? Because it did seem at one point like you were kind of out of it.
Bits and pieces. I've watched it back now, so I can.
Okay.
After you've watched it back a couple of times, it seems like you can piece it back in your memory, or that's how it's always seemed to me. So it seems like, but yeah, I mean, definitely in there. I wasn't just being funny when DC was showing me. I mean, I didn't remember getting elbowed in that moment. So that's the God's honest truth.
I mean, you've been in some scraps, but like, does that one top them all in your opinion? I mean, just back and forth, the blood, the finish, you almost being out, then you submitting him. In terms of like activity, would you say that's the top of the list?
Likely so. Yeah, obviously, because I came out the winner. You know, I've been in some scraps, and it seems like every time I get into these moments, I kind of come up short or something. So I didn't really understand that. So it's good to come out and be the victor. I think that typically, if I can keep my cool, if I can keep my feet underneath me and make no mistakes, you know, obviously I was wobbling around out there, but we had worked on things that I felt like came into play. And that's why I was able to stay in a decent position and continue to fight on. So, yeah.
By the way, are those a bunch of luchadors on your shirt? If so, that's fantastic.
Yeah. My wife got me this shirt.
It's a tremendous shirt.
Ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Fan.
I love that shirt. Wow. Well done. All right. So you have this fight. It's back and forth. There's blood everywhere. There's all stuff. You're getting all kinds of praise. And you even said afterwards, I think you got a bonus for it, right? Because you got a finish. But did Dana White give you something on top of the bonus as well? I think he alluded to that.
He alluded to that. We'll see. We'll find out when the time comes. You know, those bonuses typically take a while to hit. And when it does, hopefully it's more than $50,000. But Dana's always been a man of his word in regards to me, and I don't expect anything different. So yeah, I'm sure I'll get a little extra. Happy to come out the victor. Happy to come out with the bonus, and just overall very grateful.
What's the aftermath been like? Because that's a big stage to have a crazy fight like the one that you did, right? ABC, all that stuff. Do you find that you're getting more love, more attention after a fight like that?
Definitely on social media and things. I've done my best to not overdo social media and just have my hand on my phone. I'm back home now, back home in Humble, Texas with my wife and my little girl. So really just got right back to daddy duty. I come home yesterday. I got on the first flight back to Houston, flew into George Bush, and then came home. And my little girl was with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law leaves, and as soon as she leaves, Penelope's puking and sick. So I went straight into daddy duty. So that's what it's been.
Oh no. Is she okay?
Oh, she's fine. Yeah. Just a little stomach bug. She's a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Goes to daycare. Thus she's always sick.
Yes. I know all about that life. All right. So you have one daughter. She said she's 2. Do you have another one on the way?
Yeah. I got a baby boy on the way.
Wow. And how far along?
She's due in January.
Okay, well done. Boy, you would you like once this young man finds out what his daddy did, by the time he's, 12, 13, 40, do you want him to be a fighter too?
I would, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I would like him to learn how to defend himself. Maybe I'll make him wrestle, but I won't say he has to be a fighter. I think wrestling's good for a young man. I think that it'll do him well. And plus, he's going to be much like me, a little horse jockey. So I played football and ran track and did my best, but it was hard to stand out in those things because I was a little guy. But if I would have wrestled all through high school, I probably would have been a multiple time state champion or something.
Why didn't you wrestle?
I went to high school in Louisiana, Captain Shreve High School, and we didn't have a wrestling team.
Oh, wow.
My freshman year in high school, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Hang on one second.
You're getting a call, huh?
Yeah, I accidentally double booked. I did UFC Unfiltered, and I told them I was going to be on Helwani at 1:30, and I think we booked for 2:20, but that's 2:20 Eastern, so that's 1:20 here. So that was my mistake, I guess.
Oh, no.
I just didn't follow up with that, so I'm gonna have to get back to those guys.
Okay, this is a way better show anyway. Don't worry about it.
I like those guys too. Got to make my rounds.
Yes, you do.
Sorry, what was the question?
The question, I asked you, why didn't you wrestle in high school? And you said that your school didn't have wrestling. So obviously that makes sense. I obviously, we spoke about this, but a lot of, the fans now are so much newer. They probably don't even remember how we were first introduced to you on the MTV show Caged, right? I believe that's what it was called. Was it called Caged? Am I wrong?
Yeah, it was Caged.
Yeah.
And I came on your show back then.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah. That's when I first met you. And so it's amazing to see you still around. I don't even remember how many years ago that was. Like, was that over a decade ago?
10 years. 10 years. 10 years this year. January 2022 or January 2012. We're in 2022. It's been 10 years.
Honestly, did you think back then you'd still be in the UFC, that you'd be making a living out of doing this? Like, would you have believed that?
Yeah, it was something we were after, and I think Caged kind of brought that front row and center into my mind. But Atlanta, sorry guys,
It's all good.
But ultimately, yeah, we got there, huh? I never knew that this was a thing, that this could be a thing. And I remember when the UFC added the 125-pound division, I was at the end of my amateur career, and I was like, would you look at that? Maybe that's something that could happen. And then Caged happened, and then, yeah, I mean, here we are. Been in the spotlight for 10 years of my career. Very happy with how things have gone. It's certainly not been a straight arrow, to the top. We've kind of taken our time getting here, but I feel like because of that, I've earned it. No shortcuts, and I'm built for it.
You mentioned I'm a kid from like the trailer parks in Louisiana. I don't come from much. Like, how humble were your beginnings?
I mean, there were times when I say that I'm a trailer trash kid, and I really was. But my mama, she was a hardworking woman who provided for us. And though we were at one time on welfare, we didn't stay on there for long. So I came from the trailer parks, but by the end of it, we lived in a nice place. So a lot of people kind of they're like, dude, you lived on Ellerby Road, bro. And he's right, but that's because mama worked hard. So yeah, I mean, humble beginnings. And when I say that, I really mean, I didn't come up winning. I'm a normal guy in the sense that I rode the bench my entire athletic career. I always tried really hard and did my best, but I was never one of those guys. And it wasn't until I found fighting that I realized that I could actually pursue something and achieve something. And, I try and put it this way. I never knew I could win until I stood in a cage across from somebody and I fought for it. And I taught myself one fight at a time that I'm someone to be reckoned with. So, yeah, I mean, the journey's been something else, Ariel. It sure has.
A little bit up and down, as you alluded to. Do you hope this is the one that gets you on that streak? Flyweight is on fire right now. A lot of new faces popping up. Is this the victory? Is this the performance that gets you on that run?
Yeah, I think I'm about to go on a good run here. I'm settling into my routine here in Texas. That's taken me a couple of years to get right. Now I'm heading up to Fortis MMA and training with those guys at the beginning of the week. And they've got a good room of just tough kids for me to push into. So there's training partners. But I've been drilling around here. Me and Eve Edwards have gotten together. We get together 3 times a week minimum. And then when I jump into a camp, he's typically there for my sparring as well. But we got Adrian Yanez has come over, and we've kind of been drilling together and getting work 3 times a week, and Rafion Stotts as well. And there's just a young crew here in Houston, between Houston, Dallas, and Austin, Texas. A bunch of guys, a little Texas fight force, if you will. And it's been interesting to tap into that. And I think we're only getting better with it. So as I get my routine, I really think I can go on a run. I'm putting the right guys around me. We're challenging ourselves every day, and I think I'm making improvements, and I'm ready to go. I think I can beat all these guys. I've always said that.
It was lovely to see the legend Eve Edwards in your corner. How long have you been working with him?
Me and Eve started working together shortly before in my last camp for Roy Val. As we started really working together. And I knew he was around, and he was teaching a class at Heritage Muay Thai, which is a gym that I frequent here in Houston, owned and run by Michael Corley, who's also an excellent kickboxing instructor that's been helping all of us. And those guys have a good little thing going on over there. So it was kind of a slow going thing, but we're trying to get it together now. I'm trying to get back healthy. I'm probably going to try and be at class on Friday just to keep the momentum rolling. We got a good thing going, and those guys are jumping back into a camp. So let's go. Ready to go. We're about to go whip some people.
And now you want to be introduced as a Thug Jitsu fighter.
That's right.
That's awesome. I love that. A nod to the past. So you want like Buffer to say that?
Yeah, I'm going to ask Bruce to say it, and that'd be an honor for me. There's only been a few guys that have got to rock that moniker. Of course, the Thug Jitsu master himself, Eve Edwards. But then you think about every time Poirier fights, he's a Thug Jitsu fighter as well. And I think that's just, me, Poirier, we came up, me and Eve. I've known Eve since 2014, and he's always been kind to me and offered little things. And he probably doesn't know as much, that he's affected my career early on as much as he did. So, yeah, I'm thankful to be in the position I am. Eve is the man. I think that's a great ode to him. And yeah, we got a good thing going for sure.
By the way, I want to ask you about sports cards. You're a big trading card guy. I see you like with Panini, you're doing all this stuff. Can you tell me exactly what you're doing and how deep? It seems like your Instagram is filled with sports card stuff, breaks and all this. I don't know. I mean, I used to like do it as a kid. I do a little, but like how deep are you into this world?
Yeah, I'm a part of the card community. I feel like it's become part of my life. I started collecting again like in 2017. I'm mostly a football collector, but now Panini does the UFC stuff, so I've gotten involved with it too. But just enjoying it, collecting cards, getting into the hobby. I collect. I go to these shows too when people love interacting with me, and I set up as a vendor, so I sell from my collection and
wow.
It's just a cool way to connect with, another way to connect with a niche fan base. And I would suggest to other guys out there, if they've had any interest in it at all in the past, to dig into it a little bit more, because there's a lot of opportunities to not only, the little bit of money you make along the way isn't necessarily what it's all about. But I do feel like I've cultivated a brand new fan base out of a group of guys, and the Panini guys and the sports card guys. And then I'm even involved with the Panini NFT group, and I'm on their Discord. So shout out to those guys. They always ask for a shout out. And it's just cool. I feel like it's a good way to accumulate even more fans and get involved and kind of show, I get to be genuine, but display my personality on real places.
I love it. I love everything about it. I love that you're doing this. By the way, your like prized possession right now, as far as cards are concerned, like what's your best card that you own?
I've got some nice Joey Burrow autos, PSA 10s. I've got some. That's who I went after. That's why I got back into it. I really wanted that 2019 LSU class, the national championship class. Joey B, Heisman Trophy, 60 touchdowns. excellent year. So I went after those guys, and that's what got me back into collecting. So I've got some nice Joey Burrow, got some nice Justin Jefferson, got some really nice Jamar Chase, and those would be my prized possessions.
Any Josh Allens?
I didn't get into for whatever reason. I wish I would have. I really do, because there was a time, especially when I first got in, if I would have went in on Josh Allen, my collection would really be worth something. Whereas where it sits now, I probably put more into it than it's worth.
All right, fair enough. And so you want Mateus Nicolau. I love that call out, by the way. Not a lot of people call out a guy, like they always call out the big names, but no, you got to get by a Mateus Nicolau to get to the title. So I love that. We're not going to fight in Houston, though. We're not going to fight in Texas. I didn't like the way they treated you. They booed you. I thought that was very rude. New York treated you way better, right? Didn't New York treat you better than Texas?
I'm not going to. I understand where the Texans are coming from, and Shane Burgos is one tough act to follow, and that was something I was looking at this card too. Like, they're gonna put me behind Burgos again. God dang it! Here we go again. I'm gonna get booed in New York, but it worked out tonight. It worked out on that night, so it's all good. No, I love Houston. We'd love to come back to Texas for sure. That would be fine too. I just thought, shoot my shot. Madison Square Garden's the Mecca. Come on. I get it. I'm into this not only I want to win fights. I want to make money, but I'm here for the experience too. I've seen the world fighting, and I've been everywhere doing this, and it's been a great time, but let's get another feather in the cap. Why not Madison Square Garden?
Yes,
come on.
That'd be sick. By the way, speaking of Texas, go ahead.
Sorry. New York has treated me well.
Yeah. Speaking of Texas, Kai Kara-France, Brandon Moreno, who do you got?
It's a tough one. I think Kai's got a lot of momentum right now. He's been able to find that right hand. I look forward to an entertaining fight, but I still believe that Moreno has the volume advantage. He's been extremely accurate here of late, especially through all the Figgy fights. And we can't forget that they have fought before, and Brandon was kind of able to serve him up the hands a little bit. And I thought he had the advantage there and was able to keep it in that wheelhouse and win that. So we'll see. Kai's good though, and has made adjustments and has gotten better places. It'd be interesting to see him come out and wrestle or something, maybe try and steal some rounds with some top control. But Moreno's dangerous on the ground too. I've trained with Moreno. He brought me out before we fought Sergio Pettis. I took a 5-week whipping from him in Mexico City. So I'm well aware that Brandon Moreno's a guy too. So I think Moreno gets it done again, but ultimately I'm team flyweight. I want to see those guys scrap, and I will be in the building. I'll be there.
Oh, so. Nice. And do you think Figgy's going to leave the division? He's threatening to leave. He wants more. He's going to move up. What do you think of all of this?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't think it would be wise for him to leave, though. He'll probably, guys in the past have been able to bump up to bantamweight and do well, though. Bantamweight's a different animal nowadays than it was in the past too. It is. It's scary up there. That top, 30% of guys, they can probably all beat each other. So one of the deeper divisions. But Figgy would probably be able to jump in there and compete. I don't know. Do what you want, man. Whatever.
All right.
I don't care.
Contrary to popular belief, I'm a team player. I'm a nice guy, and I feel bad that they're probably looking for you right now to do this other interview. So I'm going to let you go and do that, because I don't want you to be all stressed out. And please send them my regards. And don't worry.
That's one reason to have a manager, because when I'm managing things, that's the type of stuff that'll happen. So
I know.
God bless.
Yeah, but you do have a manager, right? Don't you have a manager?
No, I'm not managed. Me and Safe helps me with my contract, and Coach Safe Saud's the man.
The man, yeah.
I wasn't able to really give him a shout out, but he's been great through everything too. So yeah, Coach Safe helps me out a little bit on that end, but for the most part, we're on our own, and I kind of prefer it that way. I feel like I've done better for myself. Yeah.
Well, keep doing your thing, man. Great performance. Everyone was going nuts. One of the best fights that I've ever seen. One of the best flyweight fights ever. I don't know if you saw that picture. There's a picture of him draped over you on the ground there. Is just iconic stuff. Just crazy.
I reached out to the photographer. I'm definitely going to try and either pay for it or whatever I need to. But I would like a nice copy of that someplace. And he's a nice guy. He's going to get back to me.
Yeah, we're showing it right now as we speak. Just amazing. I can't. Who's the guy? I can't even see who it's probably a UFC photographer, maybe Mike Roach or Jeff Botari, one of those guys.
He wears a red Rutgers hat. I can't.
Oh, Ed Mulholland? He's the man.
Yeah,
Ed Mulholland is the man. Yes. If you need his info, I got his info. He's one of the best guys in the game. So
I got a hold of him through Instagram. I
Okay.
think I reached out to him, messaged him, and he said, "Yeah, man, give me a couple of days and I'll handle it for you." So really nice guy. Really appreciate that. What a shot.
Yeah.
How about that? Let's go.
Amazing.
Momentum.
All right, Matt, all the best to you. Congrats on the win. Thank you for doing this.
Thanks, Ariel.
All right, there he is, Matt Schnell. We remember him from the MTV days back in the day, the Cage Show. If you missed that, really great stuff. And I love the call out. It was a really great call out because you don't get a lot of guys who are, right now, Mateus Nicolau in the UFC rankings, number 7, Schnell, number 8. You got to work your way up. Then you got Alex Perez, Brandon Royval, Alexandre Pantoja, Askar Askarov, and then Kai Kara-France, Brandon Moreno. Of course, those two are going to be fighting on July 30th, UFC 277 in Dallas, Texas.